Hey, this is Jeff Weber at Radical Recruit, and I am sitting inside of my really serious chair because I'm going to do a show right now, and it's going to be a show about some really cool stuff, so please stay tuned because this is a Radical Rant.
Are you loving it? Yeah, you know I'm loving it.
Are you loving it? Yeah, you know I'm loving it.
So if you love it and you can't get enough of it, then put the hand up high right where the other is. Yeah. You getting it right now with Mr. Morficato. DJ Morphosis.
Are you loving it? Yeah, you know I'm loving it. Are you loving it? Yeah, you know you loving it. And if you're loving it, you can't get enough of it. Put a hand high right where the other is. Say the weak, but can't find that quitter in me. It's that bittersweet literature that lit your streets. Walk with the Prince of Peace, see where these footprints lead. Keep my eyes to the sky, looking for signs of a thief.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff Webb, Radical Recruit here. Don't look at the mirror behind me. The mirror doesn't show you what you need to see. Anyways, it is Wednesday, and just about to go on vacation, and wanted to do this video before I took off to Northern Ontario, and talk a little bit about Recruitfest. You know, it always takes me a bit of a time to do these videos because it was quite an interesting experience. Now, first of all, I got to give a big shout out, big kudos to Eric Weingartner, Jason Davis of recruiting.com and recruitingblogs.com. If you're not a member of recruiting.com or recruitingblogs.com, then you really should, sign up today. Go do it now. And Eric Weingartner of monster.com, and we all know who monster.com is. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't be watching this video. Anyways, I wanted to give a big shout out to them because they did something which was different. It was definitely different. I'm a big lover of the HR conference scene and the recruiting conference scene. You know, I started out a long time ago going to ERE events, SourceCon, and then got hooked on this whole idea of unconferences. Went to the first Recruitfest, organized the second Recruitfest, and was an attendee at the third Recruitfest. My dog is just making weird sounds. Anyways, the third Recruitfest, very much different than the past unconferences. And actually, you know what? I'm going to stop right there and say that I don't really think Recruitfest was an unconference. Here's why. For me, an unconference is a smaller group of individuals who interact at a more personal basis. And what recruiting.com and Monster did was they took the concept of the unconference and they morphed it into what I would call more of like a live TV event. Now, still very cool, viewed by 3,800 people in all 50 states, and I don't even know how many countries, but here's an interesting statistic. The third largest, or the third most viewed country was South Africa. I mean, clearly we've reached an audience that is not normally in attendance at these conferences, and that's a fabulous thing. Australia was in there, New Zealand, I think. The list just goes on. Canada, of course, was the second most viewed country. So big kudos to them for doing that and bringing that and making that free, that content free for everybody. Here's what I think it lost. As somebody who is a member of the audience and maybe from a worldwide audience, I don't think the conversations were quite as fluid. It's not recruiting.com's fault. It's not Monster's fault. It's a limitation of the technology that was being used. I mean, when you bring in multiple media streams like an internet stream, a Twitter stream, a chat box, a dial-in number, which apparently people were having a hard time using, then you can't have the same kind of conversations that one-on-one people do. You know, we always tell people, take your social media online relationships and move them offline. And for me, that's what a really good unconference does, is that it allows you to take your online friendships, move them offline, and engage them within a conversation on a one person-to-person basis or person-to-many-person basis. So having said that, how would I classify Recruitfest? It was a very cool television experience, and I think it may have even developed a new class of conference. Whatever we're going to call it, we're going to have that. We're going to have unconferences, and we're obviously going to have the traditional conferences. In fact, on Recruiter House Party, our show last night, we talked to China Gorman about how to bring the everyday practitioner of HR to the masses via the traditional conference format, and maybe some sort of aspect of on-conference needs to be put in place as sort of a I don't know, a feeder network where you can give people an opportunity, normal practitioners such as myself, an opportunity to go out there and speak and practice their speaking so that they're ready to present at things like SHRM National. Otherwise, primarily the people you're going to get there are people who practice speaking, who are consultants and academics. And I think that certainly has a place within the larger conference scheme. So back to Recruitfest. I think I saw some great people there. I would have hoped that the conversation would have been a bit more engaging as somebody who was participating in the audience. But again, hard to do with the technology, and I certainly think that they accomplished what they were going for, which is to bring the unconference to a larger audience. And 3,800 people is a pretty damn large audience. So I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what Monster.com and Recruiting.com come up with in the future. If they're going to work together, I hope they do again. And I'm certainly I'm certainly still a big believer in the smaller unconferences as well. We're having one here in Toronto, Radical North, on October 26th, and you guys will probably see some video from that. And then, of course, Radical Source will be in Atlanta on December 15th. So, anyways, and hopefully, maybe we'll get some streaming happening with that. It all depends on how that goes. So, I'm interested to read the blogs and hear the conversation that goes on after Recruitfest. If you do want to see what happened, you can always go to recruitfest.com. They will be streaming the sessions from there, and that's going to be available for everyone. And you can also catch the hashtag #RecruitFest. I'm, as I said, about to go on vacation, so I'm out. Amy the dog is walking past me. Sometimes I feel like I need an alligator pit or something for her. Anyways, and so I'm out for the day, and peace out.